Welcome back to United States of Australia. I am the Aussie guy, and this week we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to try and introduce my co-host to a little bit of Dabbleverse, I guess, dabbling in the Dabbleverse. But first of all, joining us, as always, he is just Josh. How you doing, brother?
Doing good, Ozzy. How you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I'm good. It was my son's 5th birthday party today, so a little bit exhausted. Yeah.
That's a good age, man.
It is a good age. Yes, I agree. Also joining us all the way from Ukraine, he is our war hero, Jay Scoop. How are you, brother?
How's it going? I'm going to try to hold this position on the screen. It might get a little, I might start to cramp, but I'm holding these two rifles this way the whole show.
You are steady, my man.
There you go.
The good news is you're in like one of your war bunkers, and your audio is so crisp and it's the best audio when you're in your war bunkers in Ukraine. I love it. I love when you're in the bunker. Yeah, sure, you might get fired at and all that, but always great to hear you in your bunker. And joining us this week for the first time, a man I've sort of known about for 5 or 6 years, and I've conversed a little and crossed paths, I guess, tangentially along the podcasting journey. But everyone, please welcome to the show from the Midnite Mike show, Midnite Mike.
What's up? How you doing?
How you doing, Mike?
Doing good. I think the last time me and Aussie guy here were on the same thing was probably the Get My Go Christmas special.
Correct.
A couple years ago.
Yes, and I'd actually forgotten about that in terms of there were so many people on that show. I forgot you were on that show with me.
Gee, thanks.
I don't know if I want to talk about Christmas specials. It wasn't my finest moment when I was on one. Remember?
That's a story.
Come on, Ozzy. Yeah. I hit the edible a little too hard that day for the when it was still Mallertown.
Yeah. No, the good old days. You're right. So what I mean is I was thinking about, no, I don't think I've ever been on a stream with Midnite Mike before. But you have now just reminded me of the Get My Go special where there was probably a dozen of us, 18.
Yeah, it was
people
big
on that. Yeah. That was a fun show. A fun one to do. And that's Get My Go is how you and I know each other. Again, we were sort of tangentially linked because of you were buddies with the grapplers, and there's so much backstory to all of this that's insane. But tell us a little bit about your sort of podcast and how you stumbled across Get My Go.
Well, I stumbled across Get My Go because I was completely immersed in that kind of world, which is kind of like a Dabbleverse world. Just the enjoyed mocking of Mr. Johnny podcasting, which is great because this past week or so the new episode was released and you're on it, and it goes back to its roots of if anybody doesn't know about Johnny podcasting, you gotta watch some Get My Go and with Mike Durban and Husey and all those guys. It's great. He's just
is it great or is it monumental?
It's monumental.
It's huge and monumental,
man.
I'll tell you, it's such a rabbit hole to go down, and it's so worth it. One of the most delusional podcasters that ever existed, in the world.
And the crazy thing is, there is a charm to him at first, and that's kind of what sucked me in because I podcasted with him, and he does tell his stories and kind of makes you believe things, but as soon as you see through it, then it's off to the races. And
so he's a master fake it till you make it.
Yes, exactly.
He's the wordsmith is what he is. Knock your block off your head, man.
Yes.
There, man.
But no, it is it is fascinating as you go through. Like in the beginning, yeah, I was exactly like you, Mike. Like I was just a fan because I wasn't really in with Durband and Feeney and stuff at that point. But once I got involved with the show and started finding clips, and it is genuinely fun to find clips of someone being a moron on a podcast. But it does take a lot of time. And yeah, this most recent one, it was good to get back in the saddle with Johnny podcasting, but it was a much bigger drain finding clips. But you worked with him back in 2019. I think
work
it was.
with that's
well, you,
playing
yeah,
it fast
sorry.
and loose.
Sorry,
Yeah,
worked with it.
Yeah.
There's no money exchanging hands or anything. But in terms of you cross paths with him, podcasts with him, I think you hosted a fight between him and the Grapplers, didn't you?
Yeah, well, that it basically all came through like Vince Russo, so I knew pretty much everyone involved, and then something happened between him and the Grapplers, and I was in with the Grapplers, and I said, like, why don't you guys just come on my show and hash it out? And at that time, I had my original podcast, which ran. We did that for like 10 years, and that eventually got it ran its course, and I refused to kind of do it unless my co-hosts were in the studio with me. And I always was a state away. So for 11 years, I was in Philadelphia, and then I moved to the Long Island Sound of Connecticut. And it just became, it became hard to have my co-hosts drive up every, month or every 2 weeks to record a few episodes. So I started to kind of branch out, and that was kind of towards as it was like fading out. So I was like, okay, well, I don't have to just do 80s and 90s pop culture and horror. I can, do other things. And that's how John and the Grapplers and everybody started kind of bringing themselves into my show. And yeah, we did a show there where at that time, I was still looking at Johnny podcasting as somewhat of a normal person. But then slowly but surely he started just turning on people and turning on friends of his and getting weirder and weirder. And yeah, and it turned into what it is.
Yeah. I remember crossing paths with you at the time, and I have the hilarious parody account Fat FATT Coon KOON, which is what got me sort of linked up with you. And I remember having some Twitter stoushes with you back in the day, and it was all good fun, and it all led into Get My Go. As a fan of Get My Go, like I've sort of, the more I've got involved, I've lost track of the history of it. Like that first season, I'm like full bottle on everything. I was listening to everything over and over, but once you start to be on the shows, you don't tend to listen to it back as much because it's like I don't need to hear me telling me stuff, I guess. For you, let's go with your, I don't know. Do you want to do a top 5 Get My Go episodes? And you don't have to do it right now. We could leave that to the end of the show. But would you want to do that?
Well, I mean, I can tell you right now, like the 2 moments that stick out in my head are the episode where Rad Rob came out about his flashing his neighbor and getting arrested. And I think that was very early.
Yes.
But then very late is the episodes where Christopher Martin was broadcasting and his wife kept chiming in and you could hear her. Like, I loved that. I thought that there should be more done for him and more content for Get My Go with Christopher Martin and his wife, just like with her. God, I mean, it just sounded like such trailer trash. Just
I was in his live chat one day because I 100% agree with you. I love Priscilla Martin, Brother Martin's wife, and partly because I got a bit of an impression going of her, so I wanted more of that. But I was in a live chat with him one day, and I was encouraging Priscilla to get involved, and I was telling Martin, you should do a show together, you two, do one together. And he was all for it. Like at the end of the stream, he was all pumped up and puffed up. It's like, yeah, we're going to do a show together. And I guarantee you the next day, Johnny podcasting got on his ear and said, the Aussie guy's fucking with you. Like, you're going to embarrass yourself if you do that. And like nothing ever happened after that. But I 100% agree with you. the Brother Martin and Priscilla, particularly off camera, like in the background, is really funny. I personally do love when he Brother Martin is zonked out on stream, the go to bed
Oh, that
episode.
yeah.
I do have fond memories of that one, but I still to this day. You mentioned the Rad Rob flogging the dolphin. Episode 4, flogging the dolphin, is like Hughesy's performance on that is a masterpiece, and I could still go back to listen to that, and it cracks me up. Hughesy really like shone, and particularly in that first 15 to 20 episodes. Like Hughesy was the one who brought the fucking comedy to it.
Yeah, well, he could just his Johnny podcasting impression, and you know he's good and he's quick, and I definitely appreciate that. But it did get to the point where if he wasn't on an episode, I was good because just the content itself carried itself. But Hughesy definitely is amazing. I love almost anything he does, and he's involved in the Dabbleverse too. It's crazy.
Well, that was the thing. That's kind of the lead in, because I know for me, I think one of my early appearances on Get My Go, I said this is like Jocktober, Opie and Anthony's Jocktober. And then it was Hughesy that put me on to WATP. And as soon as I started listening to that, who are these podcasts for those that don't know what WATP is? I started listening to that, and I just found that fantastic. I think it's a great show, and all of a sudden the Stuttering John stuff, and you just start to realize this is exactly what we've got going on with Get My Go, but just a different thing. What was it for you that sort of brought you into the Dabbleverse?
What happened was I feel like I found WATP before I realized that Hughesy was, I think I remember something happened where I was listening to an episode, and it was like, you know how later in the episodes he'll start to bring in either comments or questions or whatever, and something came in from a Hughesy, and I was like, is that Hughesy? Is that the Hughesy? And then he ended up being on episodes, and yeah, it definitely was Stuttering John and that content that kind of clicked me into WATP. But then with them, they're so good. Carl and them are so good that it made me go back, and I ended up listening to a bunch, like when wasn't enough content, I ended up going back and listening to a bunch of content before, the Stuttering John stuff got really intense. So it definitely was Dabbleverse kind of stuff. Like I remember, obviously when Chrissy Mayer brought up the, dabbling in comedy and stuff like that, it definitely made me a huge fan of that. And then it just got huge. It became so many different podcasts and so many different people that it was hard. It kind of became hard to keep up with. And like I said, I fall in and out because I do Jets content creation now. So I listen to tons of stuff on that. So I fall in and out, but this Aaron Imholt stuff, did that bring me right back in?
Yeah. Well, you're right about the Stuttering John stuff. I started listening to WATP and I liked it, but then this Stuttering John thing was going on, and it doesn't take long to hook you in. I do like some of the other regulars. Like I love Patrick Michael.
Oh yeah.
I was this close to being on a podcast with Patrick Michael, and then all of a sudden he had a change of heart, deleted his Twitter and all that. And I was like, like we'd exchanged some nice DMs where, to have a discussion about it. But yeah.
And who is Drive Up, Drive Through? Who's that?
Tony Michaels, yes.
Oh yeah. I loved some of them mocking some of his stuff.
Tony Michaels here.
That was funny.
Did you know that was me? The Tony Michaels caller? Did you know that's me?
Oh no, I didn't. You did all like the late show call in.
Yeah. Hey Kevin, Tony Michaels here. That's me.
Yeah, I loved the mocking of him. That was definitely fun.
Yes.
And he's just one of the several. I mean, look at how similar John Wangland and Stuttering John is. They bring people in, they act like they're their friend, and then the second something doesn't go their way, they completely turn on them, and then those people are never seen on the show again.
Yes. Yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing the way he goes through. So Scoop is distracting me. Scoop's in the chat, and so I did recently make the switch. I've heard negative things about people that end up in the bottom right of the screen, but today the guy located there is one sexy mofo. So I immediately switched it as soon as
Oh no, I'm bottom right.
Bottom right.
Bottom right now.
Oh no.
Like,
Hey, you're bottom right, but you get to intercept my my compliment, kind of like a Jets pass gets intercepted all season.
Hey.
Oh, sorry, that was reflexes.
and
Just wait till this season. Just wait.
Yeah, we'll
Look,
get to that in a
Rodgers will
minute,
get past the first quarter this year.
Oh, he's going to be fine. He's going to be a machine this year. He's more machine than man now.
All right, well, let's do it now because I was going to bring it up. I saw a clip of Aaron Rodgers the other day that people are posting going, this doesn't look good. And I'm like, I looked at the clip and I was like, it kind of looks like a guy recovering from an Achilles injury. But genuinely, like, it has been a disaster for the Jets forever. Yeah, you had the Sanchez years of a couple of conference championship games. But other than that, it's been a mess for a long time. How confident are you of Aaron Rodgers recovering? What are your expectations of season 2024-25?
The thing is that Aaron Rodgers, that whole thing the other day was blown out of proportion. He had a blister. Okay. They patched it up. He went right back out and he started throwing the ball again.
Where was this blister?
It was on his foot.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a blister on his foot. They bandaged it up. He went back out and started throwing accurate pinpoint accuracy, which something Rodgers, look, the Jets have done this before with Favre and other people, but I'm willing to put my trust in if Aaron Rodgers and the team stay relatively healthy, and I'm saying this. As a Jets fan, you kind of always have to say this, but it goes true with any team. Think about if the Chiefs lose Mahomes. Think about if the Dolphins lose Tua. Think about any team, you lose your quarterback and injuries can happen. Your season's kind of screwed. So it can happen to anybody, but as a Jets fan, of course, you have to constantly, because I lived through Vinny going down and now Rodgers going down, and it is what happens to the Jets. It's Jets luck. I look, the Jets on paper right now, if they stay relatively healthy, which by that I mean Rodgers can miss a game or two, and Tyrod Taylor is a good backup and can come in and carry the team for a game or two. Tyron Smith is
stellar, so
yeah, I'm not even worried about the defense.
Yeah.
They are awesome, and they're going to be top 5. The same thing goes with the offensive line. We now have a deep enough offensive line where if Tyron Smith, for instance, who never really stays fully healthy for 17 games, if he goes down a game or two, we have guys who can come in, especially Olufashinu, who we just drafted. We have guys who can come in and fill that spot. So if the Jets stay relatively healthy, they're winning the AFC East. That's it. That they're going to be in the playoffs. They're going to win the AFC East. They have a better team on paper than anybody else in the division. And with this Rodgers blister thing, I'm sorry if anybody here is a Dolphins fan, but Dolphins fans are the most delusional fans that ever existed. The Jets, we as fans, we know we've sucked forever. We know we are a team that sucks. But the Dolphins fans act as if they have the history of the Patriots, or they have the history of the Dolphins have not won a playoff game. The last time the Dolphins won a playoff game, the Twin Towers were still standing. Okay, so let's be real here. Like, the Dolphins fans need to shut their mouths and look at their own team before they start mocking other teams. They need to win a playoff game. In the time that the Dolphins won their last playoff game, the Jets have won 6 playoff games and gone to 2 AFC championship games. So it is what it is.
And we got to remember what kind of quarterbacks they've had. A blister, really? I would take Rodgers paralyzed from the waist down and still be like, hey, we're winning at least 8 of these fucking games.
Well, look at we won 7 games last season with 0 quarterbacks.
Yeah, Zach Wilson is not a quarterback.
Exactly.
Yeah,
so
that's just how scary good that defense is. And yeah, like a 50% Aaron Rodgers could probably
that's all we need.
Would have made the playoffs.
Yeah, it is kind of like Denver when they got Peyton Manning. Just off Denver got Peyton Manning just off a serious injury. The Jets got Rodgers, and then he had a serious injury. But you know how good the guy is. You know he's got the brain for it. He can read all the plays and make the right decisions. It's just, can he be healthy? And if he can, that defense will lead you to a championship.
And it only gets more quarterback friendly every year.
Yeah, exactly. They are very much protected. All right. We've bored the audience with Jets talk.
Jets talk.
All right, guys.
No, it's all good. And we are moving into the big story in the Dabbleverse over the last couple of weeks. And I wanted to try something different with this steel toe drama. Just Josh, you've had a slight little glimpse into what's going on of steel toe. But yeah, you're pretty much don't know who the hell Steel Toe Morning Show is and who Aaron Imholt is, correct?
Correct.
You watched one WATP bonus episode because I was on it.
Yes, I did.
That's the extent of your knowledge. Jay
And
Scoop, have you ever heard of
a few tweets here and there, so I kind of got some storyline.
Yeah, you've got a vague story. Jay Scoop, you're obviously in Ukraine and you've got better things to worry about. Have you ever heard of Steel Toe Morning Show?
Yeah, it's about OSHA workplace safety standards, right? Having steel toes so you're okay to do the podcast in a work zone or something.
That would be a more entertaining show than what he normally puts on before what's happened over the last. Well, it's been playing out over many months, but it's like really hit a crescendo over the past few weeks. So yeah, you're not aware of anything about Steel Toe and Aaron Imholt, are you, Jay Scoop?
Negative.
All right. So what we're going to do today, Midnite Mike, of course, you're all over it, right? You're back into the Dabbleverse because of it. It's a pretty captivating story. So, Scoop, a few weeks back, I think it was our last show, the Robbie Roast, I played a clip of Steel Toe Morning Show where Aaron Imholt's co-host Johnny Crutches broke down crying.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah.
That guy was next to him was ruthless.
Yes.
This guy is having the worst day of his life. Let's see, how can I benefit from this?
and the ruthless one you're talking about is Aaron.
Yes. So I mentioned on that video that this guy, while he's being completely cold to his weeping co-host, I mentioned that he's getting a divorce from his wife, and she went through a similar thing on the show where she walked off crying on a couple of occasions, I think, over the years. First of all, Midnite Mike, I think we talked about it off air, but I don't think we discussed it on air. For you discovered Steel Toe, I think probably similar time to me when they poked their head in the Dabbleverse covering Stuttering John.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to point out that I guess we're going in some sort of timeline here. The way Aaron made April cry in those earlier episodes, or the chat made her cry, or something made her get upset. And then he would kind of poke the bear, and it was funny, but there are little clips out there on YouTube where you can, excuse me, you can kind of watch a condensed version of times where she got pissed off and started to get upset, and he really didn't help the situation. But when his co-host started crying, I'm sorry, like, what are you supposed to do at that point? Like, I would never come on here unless it was like something where, God forbid, some tragedy happened in my life, and I would tell my audience, look, this is what this show is about. Like, this happened to me. I'm going to explain. But when his co-host started crying on air about just being stressed out about life, it's like, how do you not take kind of jabs and friendly jabs, but how do you not like kind of mock that situation? I couldn't imagine if I was on here and one of you guys just out of nowhere started crying because you were stressed out about life. Like, it wasn't like like I said, a major tragedy happened. You know, it's just life getting to you. And I don't know, that was bizarre.
Was it a mental breakdown in Mental Health Awareness Month?
Yes.
Oh,
maybe. No, I think you're right.
I reserve the right to cry if something strikes me here from the air.
Yes.
Hey, happy Pride Month. Where's Robbie?
Oh,
Good
yeah,
point, yeah.
look at that.
Yeah, I forgot to mention Robbie wasn't here. Yeah, Robbie is legitimately MIA. And that's a big human being to be missing. But yeah, Robbie, we miss you. We hope you're okay.
Love you, Robbie.
I completely forgot it was the first day of Pride Month. That's awesome. You know, there's just not enough days that bring awareness to that community. It's only, I think, in the calendar year, it's only like 60 some odd days that they have, you know, paying homage to them. And I think it needs to be more. It needs to be doubled at least.
Double.
Yeah, doubled at least, because
third of the year.
You know, we have those 2 days to celebrate the military and the veterans and people like that. And that's important, but not as there's not enough awareness. Like when I turn on TV, there's never like a character or something that raises awareness. So I'm glad there's a month here.
All right, get off your soapbox. Jesus Christ.
Because people are dirty, they need to use that soap.
All right, so let me just all right, yeah, I've got one queued up. All right, so I'm going to start with this one. So this first clip is this is just after the divorce announcement, and Aaron is explaining that they went their separate ways. Sorry, excuse me. I don't do a lot of this. So,
and is this after when he officially said it? Because he went like a month or so where he was pretending like it wasn't happening.
No, so this is after it was announced.
Okay.
Because it was a marriage that had to end because it was one was going this way, one was going that way.
Yep.
I couldn't go this way. I don't think she wanted to go that way. I think she would have rather gone that way. And you can't be mad at people when they want to do that, especially when things you've done might have caused them to want to do that anyway. So you wish them the best. You hope it goes well, and you look forward. So I wish I had like some drama for you guys.
So I'm just going to pause it there. Already convoluted, and he wanted to go this way. I don't think she wanted to go that way. I think she wanted to go that way.
Robert Saleh trying to explain the play on offense.
Oh, come on!
His streams did not cross.
Yes.
Right, you're gonna do a curl route. You're gonna do what's a curl route goes outside or inside?
I have a hard time believing that this gentleman is in the Ukraine. I don't think anyone in the Ukraine would know this much about the New York Jets to be able to make this many references.
Well, he's a U.S. Marine veteran that's helping out in Ukraine. He's not Ukrainian. Have you not noticed his accent?
I don't know what a Ukrainian accent sounds like.
Well, it doesn't sound like a California accent.
Yeah, it's got to be like Russian.
I must break you.
There you go.
Yeah, it's better.
I'm telling you, Aaron, this whole thing completely. I honestly, when I first started listening to Steel Toe or tuning in every now and then to Steel Toe, I'm thinking, okay, here's these people from Wisconsin, conservative. I just thought, that April was a good, and they call her like farm woods girl. The way he proposed to her was, a little cringy, but still, I just didn't think she would turn into such a dirty whore.
Wait. Don't ruin things.
I'm sorry.
But look at the guy on the screen right now. Like, you can just see pure evil, like, inside of that body. I don't know what you guys see, but I see darkness.
I'm with you there. I can see some serious badness.
Well, another thing is that his new set is horrible.
Yeah, it's a
Who's
disgrace.
fucking writing on the whiteboard back there? That's kids chicken scratch, man.
He writes that stuff. It's like
he
his
writes
highest
that.
donors or something.
All right, let's kick back off this clip. Let's see if we can make heads or tails of this.
I wish I had some like, oh yeah, that fucking bitch, blah, 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 blah. I can only tell you what I told you, and that is I did things that I'm not proud of myself for, that a dad shouldn't do. But when I got to a crossroads, I chose, hey, I got to knuckle down and be a dad here, and I'm proud of that. I made the right decision, but that doesn't mean anyone else made the wrong decision.
You made the right decision for you.
I
sir.
made the right decision for me, and I hope everyone else made the right decision for them. This is April sharing her side somewhere. She's more than welcome to if she wants to. There's a reason I didn't say anything about her or anything negative or anything about her other than positive things, because I don't want her to feel like she has to break her internet shit to share her side. I will just talk about the things I did wrong and what I could have done better. That way I'm not casting aspersions or making accusations at anyone. I think the last few months made it a little easier because I didn't have a choice but to move on.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where, like I said, it was the road goes like this, and the guy with 3 kids, if he's going to get rid of his shame and if he's going to get rid of, all that, he can't go that way.
No.
I got 3 kids. I got to live a better life for me. That doesn't mean it's a bad life for anybody else. If that makes sense. For me.
Cocaine-filled orgies, or I'll be a dad.
How can he sit there? How can he sit there and say that neither direction is the wrong direction? Clearly, her direction was the wrong direction. I mean, what are we talking about here?
Scoop, as the no idea what's going on here, where do you think we're at in this breakup and this divorce after hearing that clip?
Well, so far it's just this guy. I just want to punch him in the face. He's just like, "Hey guys, by the way, I did awesome. My behavior. I am so proud of my behavior, and you should be proud of me too." That's what I hear the most. And then after that, I'm trying to suss out what exactly happened between these two. But so far, he hasn't said specifics about what the girl has done. He's only alluded to that he was at least faced with temptation, and then he decided to not go with it. I'm assuming he went further than temptation. I'm assuming that he did some actions, and then he decided to reel it back in and do the old, you're always told, and you tell other people, look, don't fucking cheat. Like, tell me you're not interested, break up with me, and then fuck somebody else. But don't do it while you're with me. And so I'm assuming he didn't wait. He probably fucked a little. Then he decided, this is not right. We got to either stay together, be faithful, or we got to break up, and then I can fuck other people. And so he's electing to do the latter. But I have not. I have only heard what Midnite Mike is alluding to.
Yeah,
that there may be something that this girl is guilty of, because so far the guy has not said anything about what she has done yet.
Without giving anything away, I can say this, that after this whole situation went down, I actually gained a lot of sympathy for Aaron. But then he ruined it himself by doing exactly what you just said. He's constantly explaining why he's so he's the good guy, and why what he did was so noble and things like that. And that's what kind of ruined it. Like I don't really have anything against Aaron, but and I felt sympathy for him, but he's ruining that himself by constantly reminding everybody why he's holier than thou.
Yeah,
and
if he had just briefly said something like, look, faced in this challenge, I'm actually kind of surprised. Like, I actually did the right thing here. And looking back on it, I'm surprised. Like, I think I probably normally would have done whatever is the opposite thing, but I have to give myself a little pat on the back for that. But like, if he just made some kind of brief thing, but he's just laying into it. Like, and motherfuckers, if there's an award out there somewhere, they need to nominate me because today I am the guy.
Yep.
This is amazing. All right, let's go to our next clip, and let's see if Scoop can piece together a little bit more of the puzzle after this one.
What fucking choice have I been given? You've heard me on this show. What a nice fucking boy I've been. What a complimentary fucking boy I've been. Who's the only person I've shit talked?
It'll never be enough.
But who's the only person
You.
Me! I've said I'm a shit.
Yeah.
What? Which I'm not anymore.
And
it might have something to do with a change of scenery. I was a piece of fucking monkey shit. I'm not anymore. I've been hanging out with different people. I've been basically living in a different, in my own house.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that's a change. I've always lived. This has been my primary address in the mail. Boy, I'm dancing between the fucking raindrops right now.
Right.
Anyone guess
All
where
right.
we're going from here?
Hey,
I want to see if he knows where we're going. Where are we going from here?
yeah, Scoop. So after that one, what is your sense of what's going on here?
Honestly, he's still just like trying to give himself credit. He's not giving me more details other than the fact that he says he's not a piece of monkey shit, but he dressed like one with that brown shirt. So that's the most that I got out of that clip. He's dancing around right now. It's almost like he's, the lawyer told him, hey, make sure you don't say this, that, and that. And so he's like dancing around. He's not giving me the fucking good stuff.
He's tap dancing on a live grenade.
Yeah.
All right, so I mainly played that clip and the first clip to set up. So he talked about going separate ways with his wife in that first clip. He wanted to go one way, she wanted to go the other. In that clip, he talked about how he's just been a nice boy and he's not really saying anything. And so we'll go to our next clip.
Oh, there was a point where he said he was talking about the relationship and he said everybody. I'm like, it's two people. Why are we saying everybody? Like, what's going on?
The relationship's a little bigger.
You're clicking onto some things here, Scoop. You're realizing some things. But let's go to this next clip.
I'm not saying anyone has.
Yes.
I'm saying I wouldn't do that if I didn't want someone to say bad shit about me.
Right.
I'll say bad shit about myself.
Yeah. You're a monster.
I've done coke a few times in the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, just letting you know.
All right.
Everybody in my life knows that.
Yeah.
I've done always 7 times in the last 6 months or so.
Oh my God.
Everybody in my life knows that.
That's not something you should be saying.
You don't say.
I've already gone too far.
You don't say.
Was the cocaine off a hooker's ass?
I want it to be that the wife is stooping the guy that's sitting next to him right now. That's what I want.
Wow.
That is his co-host, Matt. Matt is such a fucking zilch. Little yes man that just sits there and buys Aaron's bullshit. But no, so we've added a little bit more to the story there for you, Scoop. He's admitted to using coke and Molly, or those that aren't as hip and up with the modern lingo, that's ecstasy. If you're a bit older like us, is anything piecing together a little bit more for you there, Scoop? Yeah.
No,
Figuring
not
out
yet,
what's going
not
on
yet.
here.
He's again, like you said in that whole clip, the only thing he really gave us was about the drugs, and he's fessing up to this, like as if somebody else needs to fess up to something, because he's the good man, right? He gets the award for Man of the Year, and this is one of the reasons why, because he tells us the complete truth that he's done this twice in the last 6 months or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, he had he developed a serious cocaine and ecstasy problem
He's a proud
do-
powder player.
by doing it. What did he say?
Like
I think he said
12.
6 or 7 times doing Molly and 3 or 4 times doing Coke.
Well, it's a good
What
thing
kind of-
he doesn't do that as much as I eat chocolate, because he'd fucking be dead.
What kind of dad? Like, everyone knows he's a dad and he has kids and they're at his house. What kind of person goes on the internet and admits to that? Like, if you're doing it, don't go on the internet and tell the world, oh, by the way, yeah, I have 2 kids, or I have kids, and on my free time I'm doing Coke and Molly.
We have Coke in the house. It's all good.
Yeah, it's like, who does that?
Even his wife's lover that's sitting next to him said he shouldn't have said that.
All his co-hosts are like that, though. They just sit there and then just say, yep, yep.
Shit, I just saw the My Pillow guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucking creepy.
He had a strange exchange where he was talking about the My Pillow guy, but he was really talking about his wife. It was a very bizarre.
What the fuck?
But yeah, so you just heard him admit to doing Coke and Molly, and like he wanted to go this way, and his wife wanted to go that way.
Talking about me. Just spill the fucking beans, fatty.
No, he ate them.
Said a spill the beans goal. No, I'm too emotional tonight to spill any beans.
No,
I spill any beans tonight.
I won't let you do that.
Thank you, buddy.
You're not doing that.
I appreciate that. We're start calling you April.
You're not.
You stop me from
Ouch.
saying what I want.
What?
I want you to sign an NDA. For what? The fuck am I gonna say? I've been nothing but fucking a PR person, for Christ's sake. I've been a one-man walking PR firm.
Do those go both ways? by the way?
Protecting everybody. I don't give a shit. Say whatever you want about me. What am I going to deny? There's shit I've done that I haven't even said yet. But I wouldn't deny it.
Yeah.
Say whatever you want. And you know what I'll say about you?
What?
Not a fucking thing. Not a fucking thing.
Is this before the incident? Like, where he was still trying to keep it like...
Yes.
Okay.
And he said he wouldn't say a thing, but he just said, in her mocking voice, "You signed an NDA." You just fucking said something about her, and then you said you won't say anything about her. Like, what the fuck?
All right, so you are piecing it together here, Scoop. So he said they went their separate ways. He'd done Coke and Molly in recent times, but he's done things that he's not proud of as a 37-year-old father of 3. Now his ex-wife wants him to sign an NDA.
Because she decided to break the record of the Houston 500 or one of those other porn things where they're trying to get as many people in a short period of time.
So what comes next is a major incident is coming, but first of all, for fuck's sake.
Did that other guy who lost his shit, does he ever reappear on this guy's show or no?
Yeah, he's on a couple of times a week. I don't think
you thought with the crying he was gone.
Yeah, I was like,
think so,
you
wouldn't
probably
ya?
buried him somewhere.
Yeah, if I was Aaron, I'd be like, "Oh, bro, I don't think you can come on my pod or my show anymore." If you're gonna be crying and acting like that.
Or just have a box of tissue right there in the middle of them.
Yeah,
I just assumed
something.
we might see him hanging from the ceiling back by the My Pillow guy one episode.
That's creepy as shit.
Well, it'd be like
All right,
Dean.
so-
Dean used to always have a noose behind him. What happened to that?
Yeah.
I thought probably not a great idea to be sitting on live streams with the news hanging behind. No, do you know what it was actually? So with the TV and YouTube, I'd gone on YouTube and put on an episode to Get My Go one day. And my son then learned how to get to YouTube on the remote. So anyway, I was just at work one day and my son had hit YouTube on the remote. And then all of these suggestions came up for Get My Go. And it's screenshots of me sitting there with a noose hanging behind me, and my wife said, "Why are you on YouTube with a noose hanging behind you?" It's like it's a long story, but it is a funny bit. But yeah, maybe I'll remove the noose going forward. So there you go.
Well, maybe Aaron can take that helm and bring it to his show because of his co-host.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love how the part where it was wrong was that or that it got found out to go away was it got seen on YouTube, and not, hey, maybe my son by accident might fucking hang himself with this news. You don't care about that part. Which,
No,
by
the way
the
it was set up, it wouldn't hang a fly. It was
okay.
it was just draped.
I coached flag football for 10 to 12-year-olds, and I actually did have a kid who hung himself, and we're pretty sure it was by accident. It wasn't on purpose.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's like, what the fuck? But then I thought about it, I'm like, I was a pretty like crazy, curious, adventurous kid, like I might have done something fucking stupid like that, right? Like just do some, I was gonna put this on my neck, ha ha ha, and then somehow you get stuck, like. So anyways, I'm glad it's not there, Ozzy, because you would have found out some way to snuff out your own kid with this fucking noose. Moving on to more pleasant topics. What happened to this guy's wife?
No more talk about hanging here.
No, not just hanging children.
We've got a new chatter, Endure. No one talks trash about Johnny Rockets around me. We just enjoyed his laugh. He's crying. That's all it is. I'll tell Ethan Ralph you called him a fag. I guess that's what that means.
A multicolored flag.
Yes.
Or fag. Either way.
You can do it. Tell Ethan Ralph I called him a fag. Whatever. Ethan Ralph doesn't know who I am. Johnny is a good man. I don't dislike Johnny Crutches. It was just funny that he cried on stream. But thank you for joining us, Endure. I appreciate it. Are we talking about Ricada now? Yeah, that's kind of the gist. We're trying to see if J Scoop can piece his way through this puzzle as I play him cryptic clips to see if we can figure out what's going on.
Yeah, you're giving me like one word in the English language every clip or something. Let's go. Give me the good stuff. I want to see cum stains on the wall in this next clip.
All right.
You better get your blue light out.
Yeah. Look, we're getting there. All right. So at this point, Aaron's been dropping all these hints in his show and then claiming, what? I'm just talking about myself. I'm not talking about anyone else. And in the meantime, his ex-wife has said nothing publicly. But then, Aaron, I don't know, he gets a bit antsy and he finds out, hang on a minute, sorry. He gets a bit antsy and I think another fella involved in this, someone just mentioned by the beloved chatter, Ensure, Nick Ricada is another streamer that's involved with this. And Nick Ricada was very fucked up on a stream, clearly very drunk, and he had a powdery nose, etc. And someone asked him a question about Aaron Himmelk cooking SpaghettiOs for him, and he said, I think his comment was as long as he cooks them right or whatever. That really set Aaron off, and so he got a bit antsy, and we find our way to this part of the.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
We're back on the show. How are you guys doing? I just had to go pee really quick. And when I went to go pee, I just decided, I'm just really excited to do the show. And
all right, that's enough of that.
That's a horrible Coke impression. He's not going quick at all. He's
that
just
looked like a
fucking
milk
retarded.
mustache. That wasn't Coke.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it should be a jizz mustache.
But yeah, I couldn't keep that going. That went on for 5 minutes, that clip. By the way, sorry for not shouting out the people from Steel Toe Boring Show subreddit who did all this clipping. I appreciate it, but I forgot to take all your names and all that and give you proper shout outs. But, you know, we're a tiny little show and, you know, nobody really gives a shit. Anyway, that terrible bit continues on. So, Scoop, are you picking up on what we're putting down in terms of
you just gave me all you gave me was this guy's fucking mocking doing a lot of coke, but it's not giving me I want details about this chick, man. And by the way, when somebody said Rakieta, whatever in the chat, I thought for a moment that was his wife's name. I was like, oh, sweet, he's Jungle Fever. Like he's got like some black wife.
No.
Now this will be very interesting to see how this, and then it's just the last name of some other dude.
But see, it's a clip like what we just saw. That when you get to current day stuff, and once again, I won't give anything away, and he's, oh, I should have protected this. I should have blah blah blah, and he's trying to say all the things he should have done and whatever. It's a clip like that where he just seems completely disingenuous. It stomps on what he says later on.
So later on he's going to say some stuff, but so far what we've watched, has it been in chronological order? Because I didn't pay attention to that whiteboard every single clip.
Yeah, it seems so.
You've been looking at the My Pillow guy, man. Get your eyes up.
Hey, I mean, that's a nice set of pillows.
Hey, it's $25.
All right, so
he's mocking his coke experience,
Aaron is deliberately vague and tries to be clever by, you know, talking around things as if we don't know what's going on. I could have possibly presented this better, but obviously, Scoop, we've presented a drugs angle to this.
What?
Yeah. With his admission to cocaine, and obviously that bit, you know, his little hilarious comedy skit there, where he's trying to act like a coke addict. We understand that him and his wife wanted to go separate ways, you know, after he chose he didn't want to be doing coke and Molly and stuff anymore.
And we know she has something to hide with her NDA request.
Yes. So now, and
originally I would think is ridiculous. You're going to ask for an NDA on this little tiny show, but now that it's blown up into what it is, I can see why she asked.
Yeah, makes sense.
So, Scoop, I guess. Look, and we won't. This is 13 minutes. We won't do the whole thing, but let's just get a bit of a gist, Scoop. You wanted a bit more sauce.
Yeah, I want more sauce. And also, why did he have no co-host on the last one? And I can see, although he's got remotely other people, he has nobody next to him again. So did he burn all his bridges between the videos?
So this one is he's guesting on another show called Kino Casino.
And he does like 2 shows a day, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does a morning show and he does 3 night shows a week.
Yeah.
So yeah. He's on YouTube a lot. Sorry, Scoop, I will fill you in. So in between him doing that cocaine bit with the powdered sugar on his nose, maybe like a day later, his wife was arrested at the home of the Ricada family for drug possession. And the Ricadas also had firearm possession and child neglect and endangerment. Were the charges. They got raided. And
the Ricada people, they know them. How are they? Just good friends, or what are they?
The Ricadas are streamers as well. Ricada is a way more well-known streamer. He has like 500,000 subs, I think, and would get many thousand people watching him live. He kind of blew up during the Rittenhouse trial and the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp case.
And I think Chrissy Mayer introduced the Imholtz to the Ricadas.
Yes, Nick Ricada. Nick Ricada, lives in Minnesota, and Chrissy Mayer had to cancel a stand-up gig that she was doing with the Imholtz, and Nick Rekieta ended up filling in for that. So that's how they became friends. So you wanted the juice, you wanted the sauce there, Scoop?
The juice is loose. Bring it.
It's not
A little container of cocaine, like you just
easy
put cocaine
access.
in it,
You pull it out of
and
your
you can just
pocket, you go
through
like
the
that,
top
and
and
bang. Yeah.
give yourself a little
A
something.
bump. Yeah. Fast bump. Yeah.
Worski knows. I'm a fucking choir boy compared to you, buddy. I don't know.
Yeah, I know.
I'm from the Midwest. I drink
That's
beer.
why I
from
don't
balls.
judge.
I don't
That's why I
fucking
can't
know.
judge.
I drink
right.
beer and watch Timberwolves playoff games. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Let's fucking go.
So we're watching it. Pete, shut the fuck up, Ashton. No, I'm just kidding. No, we're watching the Tarantino movie, and Kayla and April start making out. Fun, cool.
Right.
I said here's something that's got me thinking.
I can see it beginning that
Yeah.
way, right? Like your wives start making out, and it's like it's cool, right? Because it's like lesbian action, it's hot,
Yeah.
Wonderful.
and that's what opens the door to it, right?
Yeah.
Boob
And I
touching,
respect-
rubbing.
And I want to say, I respect your, I appreciate your respect as a man. While I'm talking about that, to have both your hands above the screen, I do appreciate it. Ash.
Exactly. We
Very
got it's a fire me up special.
You're a godly man. So
Very.
they're making out, and here's what's got me thinking that I don't know if something happened before this while they were, while April was out there hunting.
All right, I'm just going to pause it there. Scoop, you're obviously getting the gist of what's happening here. He then goes on a boring explanation of how he discussed it with his wife, and we're going to skip forward a little bit here.
So the other girl is the wife of the Rekieta guy.
Yes.
April is his wife,
And then the other one, Kate.
and the other
Kate?
one is the wife of Rekieta. Yes,
I'm actually glad that I've seen some of these clips. I'm glad Aaron pointed out the gender of the person on the top left, because originally I thought it was an old lady.
That's a Pat. That's a fucking Pat, 100%.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And Rekieta Stone is so much better than Rosetta Stone, man.
The guy on the bottom looks familiar. Does he have a notoriety or?
no, I'm not
Okay, I think
aware
he
of-
just probably looks similar to somebody.
It's the hair and the beard. I have a guy who calls on my show literally all the time and tells me I look like a guy from Chicago PD. And I'm like, the only similarity between me and this guy is that he has a beard and brown hair, and I do too. The guy's much younger and much better looking than I am, and but this guy just can't get it. He mentions it every time he calls in.
All right, let's kick this back off.
All the stories. There's a lot of shit that's just gonna.
Okay.
It's just too much.
All right.
Like
My
he's not
fuck-
sure if it was that time or the next time. You know,
my
like it's
RAM is overloaded.
yeah.
I can't process shit right. I really can't. Like shit happens to me now,
And you
I'm
were
like,
fucked up too, right? Like you're on drugs, drinking, all that stuff.
Sure.
Yeah,
We get
makes sense.
So I talked to my wife, and we just had a talk about what happened that night, 2 nights ago, and we talk about what we'd like to do. And I'm like, we know their reputation, and I went, I think I'd like to try this. Like
The
I
reputation.
again,
Could you?
All right, let's skip forward a bit further.
opening up the sanctity of your marriage. Let me tell you something. You're
Sure.
fucking done.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
You don't want it anymore. You're bored, whatever. Subconsciously or consciously, you just want to fuck some strange.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And that's
So-
what it started out. That's what it started out as. That does not negate the feelings I told you that I developed for Kayla later, everything else. I don't want to disrespect her in that way. But
No, I don't want to be disrespectful to you, but do you think it had anything to do with April not like orgasming? Because she said you never made her
know
orgasm.
where that fucking story came from. Our sex life was fantastic. As everything else was fucking garbage, that was good until the last time.
She made that
I-
joke or something, and then
made
Red
a
Bar
joke on
started
the air,
talking
yeah.
about it. Yeah,
I made a joke on air. She's like, "Oh, not every woman comes every time from sex," and that becomes, "Oh, she doesn't come." And it
Now, just on that story, I remember when that happened. Patrick Melton was live on air at the time. What actually happened is April said, "I don't come every time." Not that women in general don't come. She specifically said to him that I don't come every time. Just another example of Aaron trying to rewrite history as to what took place. But Scoop, you getting a bit of a gist of what happened here?
Well, yeah, but the details still not fully. All of the details are not there. There's more to this story,
He
clearly.
does fucking ramble a lot. Get to the fucking juicy shit.
But then she was open, and you were like, "That was kind of quick."
She was a little bit too quick of a yes. No, let's use the Signal app. And I'm like, well, there's nothing illegal about fucking each other's spouses. Like, I mean, we can talk about this like adults, you know.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was just weird. So we had to use this Signal app all the time. And I thought I should have known. Like, you're gonna realize I can see holier than thou Ashton, the wheels turning already, going, these fucking degenerates, the judgment.
No,
you're right.
No,
You're right.
this is a judgment-free zone.
We've never
much like
judged
Planet
anyone.
Fitness.
Planet Fitness
we
needs
don't
to be
know.
there.
It's a judgment.
We have a lunk alarm.
You know what? I got
Until I hit the end call button.
listen. Did you make Kayla come when you fucked her?
Oh, we did very well.
How many times do you estimate that you made Lady Rackets moan your name?
Oh, Jesus.
How many times did you fuck her, do you think?
See, now I was talking to someone before we went on, and they prepped me. They said, Ashton's going to ask some hard-hitting questions.
All right. You see this already? Like, he's buying himself some time. Like, what number am I going to come up with for how many times I fucked this woman? Scoopy, you got the gist now. We got a bit of a wife swapping situation. There's cocaine, Molly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although in the beginning it was the two wives were making out, and then we jumped to what do we need the Signal app for? Basically the wife swap. So we didn't get the details about his wife screwing the other guy, but it's implied at this point. And but I guess at this point the part where we're missing is the discussion between him and his wife, and where everything's going to fall apart, because obviously when this is all going down, I don't know if this all happened in one night or how they had their little. They're in one bedroom, the others in another. They're having fun, or what's going on. But if something like this happens, I imagine that both spouses are kind of looking over their shoulder, like, are they cool with this? They're like, this is okay. Like, they're really okay with this. And then eventually their relationship will fall apart. But I don't know. I haven't been in those fucking shoes. I have no idea what that would be like, and how long it would take for their relationship to go from that moment when maybe people were just a little drunk or high and fucked around with each other to, okay, now we're done. Yeah, this is destroyed. This is too
Bad
damaged.
idea.
Yeah. Look, unfortunately, I've just received a text.
An NDA agreement.
No, I've received a text from my wife, and I do. There's stuff going on. I do have to wrap this up. I'm just going to go with one last.
Wait, what kind of stuff's going on? Do you have a friend over?
Oh no, it's a good story.
You have a couple that seems a hangover.
Did you get the text from your wife from that special app that they were talking about?
From the Signal app.
Yeah, the Signal app. You got the Signal.
But I gotta wrap it up with this one.
Whoa, look at
This
fancy pants on the left. Uzi.
I think you guys know who Alex Stein is. Primetime Alex Stein.
I have no idea who he is, but he looks like he's auditioning for the fill-in for the Late Show. Or yeah.
So the night after going on that Keno Casino show and just spilling it all, he said about all the sucking and fucking they were doing. Yeah, the kids are there. Aaron took his kids to this house. It's just drugs aplenty. They got when they got arrested, it was 25 grams of cocaine, I believe was the number, or at a minimum 25 grams of cocaine. So there's a lot of cocaine. the arrest warrant. The warrant said there was talk of the kids wearing the same clothes for days at a time and being smelly. They were malnourished. They were always hungry. So yeah, then Aaron is doing the rounds. He did Keno Casino. So then he hits Alex Stein's show, Prime Time with Alex Stein.
She said too.
But Alex, if I could real quick, Alex, I mean, this was someone that I wanted to be with forever.
I like April too.
And love her. She's a great girl.
They all do.
Oh, God.
To watch someone, I will say this, if you guys, don't be like me. If you see someone in your life and they're even thinking or talking to you about experimenting with drugs, don't let them step in, do what you can, because you just got to watch it change people. And it changed 2 or 3 people that I really liked and really cared about. And I couldn't save them. And I couldn't stop them. And I've been talking about this a lot lately, and it's probably just getting to me a little too much. But I just go through times where I'm angry and I want all of them to pay for what they did. And then there are times where I get like this, and I genuinely feel a kind of guilt for not doing more.
All right. Does
I
anyone
want the
see
guy with
anything?
the crutches to just like sneak into his screen and go like, motherfucker.
Johnny Crutches knows how to cry. Does anything genuine about that? Like he said, I genuinely feel guilt. Did anybody see anything genuine about that?
No, not
No,
a damn thing.
What happened was that originally when this all went down, the arrest, it was broad. He was on MLC, right? He was on Misery Loves Company, and it came out, and then he did an emergency stream afterwards. And at the time, when he did that stream, that's when I originally felt bad for him, because I was like, oh man, like this sucks. Like he truly cared about his wife, and all the details weren't fully out yet. And then he did the crying bit on that stream. Then he proceeded to go on every show imaginable, run his show twice a day for 2 hours at a clip, just trashing and letting out all the secrets and all the private stuff that they did and she did and whatever, and making jokes about it, doing the cocaine on the nose bit and all that. And at that point, the crying, I'm sorry, like it seems just so phony, because you can't sit there and cry and play victim and woe is me, and then also come out and could do bits and cocaine bits and all this other stuff, trashing your wife and trashing other. He ruined it for himself. His numbers still are a little higher than usual. They're gonna drop off huge, I think. And it's, once again, it's his own doing.
Yeah,
No, I agree. It's he's got so much attention because of his involvement with Ricada, and he's got so many eyeballs on him recently, and people are going to figure it out really quick that he's not good. He's not good. He's not a good person. He's not a good broadcaster. He's not an entertainer. Those numbers are going to slip off really quick. Look, this sucks. I do have to put a halt to this show, unfortunately. We're going to have to wrap it up. Yeah, I would have liked to have done more with this. And I appreciate Dang Lizard is here. And Dua, Dayla have been chatting away. Appreciate you guys joining us and chatting. That's great. 14 people watching us live is pretty exciting. No be Dabbler today, so we got 1/1,000,000th of his. No, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but I don't know. We got like 1/900th of his audience or something like that. But no, I appreciate everyone joining us. Let's hit the plugs. Midnite Mike, let everyone know about your show, the Midnite Mike Show, your Patreon, all that stuff.
All right. Well, it used to be a more general, so but I feel it's a very niche audience at this point. So if you like the New York Jets, I am Midnite Mike Show, MIDNITE Mike Show. That's on YouTube, Twitter, or X, Letterboxd, Instagram, all that stuff. I do a show every Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is tonight. And then I do one at 10 p.m. on Tuesday nights. I'm the late night guy for the New York Jets. And yeah, I mean, look, on my show, honestly, it is predominantly New York Jets, but we go off in crazy angles. I'm not one of the guys who's like, let's only talk about the Jets. If we want to talk about anything, it ends up coming up. And I definitely appreciate you having me on here. This was awesome.
No, thanks for coming on, man. Yeah, I've wanted to have a chat with you for a while, and yeah, I'd love to. I know you invited me on your show previously, and I wasn't able to do it, but yeah, we definitely need to try and hook that up sometime because I always love talking football, even if it is the Jets. But no, we appreciate you joining us. Just Josh, where can everyone find you?
They can find me here in Ohio. No plugs, just drugs, baby. You could get me at NJ Hunt 02 on X.
Great job.
We cross
Scoop.
streams.
Yeah, you can find me on the X at Jesse Crean, JESSECREAN. Yes, I'm over here in Ukraine. I don't give a shit about all the politics stuff, but if you want to help me help keep people alive over here, look me up on X so you can find out how to contribute.
Excellent. Thank you, Scoop. I'll just bring it up this one from Dayla. Showtime for me. Catch you all in the Hackamania chat. Yes, Hackamania going on in Las Vegas right now. Yeah, a lot of fun. I'm a big fan of Nobody Likes Onions and Patrick Melton, WATP and Rocco, who is Tukey and El Horrible and all that. Big fans of those guys. I hope it's a great weekend for all of you. I hope everyone's having a great time, and yeah, definitely check out Hackamania if you can. Thank you everyone for joining us in the chat, and I better get going. We got fucking storms and all sorts of shit going on here. So enjoy your night, everyone. Oh yeah, catch me on X at that Sussy guy. Just imagine that Aussie guy and put an S where the A should be. We'll catch you next time on United States of Australia.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace. Peace.
Oops. Catch you next time on United States of Australia.